Normally everything that I explain is connected with some experience in my life. It just comes to my mind, oh, I did this, I did like that. And then only I think there's a point in those stories, or my experiences, what I went through. Because I think nothing is really worthwhile if you can't experience it. It's just in some kind of book or something, no, it should be something we can experience and can make it ourselves. That's part of us. And not to believe anything also if you don't sort of prove it through some kind of personal awareness. Even regarding karma, we have heard from our parents and even from books and certain things, but still do we feel how karma operates? If you feel that karma operates, you feel that peace of mind. You can accept situations, you will not grumble, you will not say, oh, why this is happening to me, or something like that. You will find that, you will find a reason for it. Any difficulty we are having, any suffering, we will know, okay, this we have to go through, it's not something we can avoid. And if some unfair thing is happening to us, unjust thing, that also we understand. There's justice in the universe. I told you, I don't know whether you have gone through Edgar Cayce, many mentions. I told about this before. Because some people now they are going through the YouTube and they are going through the past talks. 1 month ago they are recording. So some of these things are repetition, but now I don't think most of you have. So I will tell you now maybe something. So, Edgar Cayce, it's very interesting. It gives you clear proof of previous lives. He's not from a Buddhist or any tradition like that, but he used to go into an unconscious state. He was called the Miracle Man of Virginia, I think in States. So, he used to go into an unconscious state and he used to diagnose. English in kata kamana මොකද කොයි භාෂාවෙන්ද කතා කරනවද සමහර මට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ මොකෙන් කතා කරන්නද කියලා දෙකම කමන්නේ okay that's very diplomatic okay alright when you embassy got better කරනවා කොහොම හරි මට පැටලෙන දෙකම කතා කරන්න ගියාමත් මට එන භාෂාවෙන් කතා කරන්න but now පොඩි අයට තේරෙනවද do you understand I got a lot of them okay okay this is for them but I don't know whether they understand what Edgar Cayce okay I will explain some things for you also to understand okay I'll be doing some exercises I will be playing with you just at the end of the program ඊයේ හිටියා හරි ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං කීප දෙනෙක් නම් පින්ඩ පාත්‍යාව ඉන්න අද නෑනේ අනේ මෙතන හිටියා ඒකම භාවනා යෝගිය හිටියේ හරි හොඳයි ළමයි දෙන්නෙක් okay I think this just very important Edgar Cayce many mentions is he was called he used to go into an unconscious state and he used to tell that he used to diagnose people which are incurable certain diseases. He used to diagnose even from far away and he used to sometimes prescribe poisonous substances, but people had faith in him and they took that and they used to recover. So one particular story I remember is regarding one lady who was working in New York. She used to use her hand for advertisements. I mean her hand was so beautiful. So she, I think jewelry or something. So she had some problem and she went to him and she thought very spiritual. She does yoga and sort of meditation and things like that. So when she went into an unconscious state, there are called readings who used to record this, what he used to say. He said she was a nun in the previous birth. And she was, cleaning the toilets and things like that. Using her hand, she didn't use a brush or anything. She had so much saddha, faith, that she used her hand to, you can get plate come, no problem. That is okay. So, you have to go to toilet, I guess. Right. Um, so, she used to use her own hand, and with great delight she used to clean the toilets. And that was the karma that she got such a beautiful hand. Buddha says actually, why women get beauty and men get handsome, I mean they become handsome, because they have been kind in the previous life. Now these are in the text, and then other thing he says why they are rich, they have been generous, because two powers a woman can have, Buddha says, is beauty and what it is, wealth, if she's rich. So these two things, you don't get it by chance, by this karma, what you have done in the past. So this is very interesting, because if you have some problem also, you can relate, like for example my mother, I remember, she was really, she's a very nice lady, she's like a guru also, to tell you honestly. I would call her Guru Mata, because she has this natural meditation where she could stay all night even without sleep. She can do that, but she's not educated or anything. She's very, even the normal things even she can't do properly, because she was brought up in such a way she couldn't do when she was young. So the parents brought up in such a way that she didn't allow her to do anything. And luckily she met my father was the husband, who was more very understanding. But if you talk about Paticca or anything about she would do it really very deeply. So anyway, we were in Lesotho in southern Africa when I was 18 years old, 14 we went, and there she had a Montessori, and it was started small but it became quite big. Then there was a lot of jealousy, it was among our Sri Lankan people, so one who had a long time, but you should never think like that, right? Okay. But then you'll have the answer now when I tell you. So then some of them, they sort of, who had a long time, the Montessori's there, they sort of, harassing my mother. It's not by, they used to send certain people, they used to get phone calls, and so then my father is a tough person also, he can be both sides. And so he used to sometimes react in a very violent, verbally of course. Then, this particular incident, I remember, I had this contact with the rishis, I don't know, I told you before, with these saints, these rishis. So they actually, one time, I don't know whether it's before or after, they just told this incident. Your mother will go through this, there will be people who will insult her like this, but what is the reason? They say that she's an innocent person, she doesn't do any wrong to anybody, and it's difficult to think why somebody picks on her. But to see, in previous life they said like this, she was in Buddha Gaya area, Bihar maybe. And there, when she was there, she has insulted monks, shamanas. That karma is the one that she has unknowingly maybe made a joke about them or something like that. So that very interesting tallies, like how she was, being criticized or kind of. So then if you know like that, but you not have anger to those people. Now even in my case, I want to be a monk, and I have my father who didn't immediately agree at the age of 18. So I was just thinking, initially I felt he was like an obstacle for my path. But then even that time also I had this connection with the rishis. They told me, lay low, don't do anything now. You get your parents' blessings first, then you can do. They even told me like that, we will give you whatever you want. Please wait, have patience, that is your meditation. So I didn't care about these people also. I was having a goal in my mind, I want to pursue that. So luckily I was always meditating. That was very important. Then you can judge, you get to know the answer later. Somehow you will get to know. Then you are always trying to purify your mind. So I was in Addadagala in north of Sri Lanka. There when I was meditating, and just after 4 days I was going to go back to Lesotho, South Africa, and then from there the plan was to go to States, the university. So then I didn't externally sort of, I was not against my father, but internally I was thinking, what is all this? Why am I going like that? I have no interest, no certain desire. After, I think yesterday I told I had this experience at the age of 18. So when I was doing walking meditation in the top of a rock, there's elephants there, it's a wonderful jungle. I heard it's Valagamba Raja's time, King's period, this area, maybe Arahants would have been there. Because this has been a turning, a place that had a turning point in my life. Even the last, after many years when I meditated, I had results in this place. So there when I was doing walking meditation, suddenly it just dawned to me how I came as a son to my father, and how for my father I was the son. It was nicely synchronized, due to our past karma. So I didn't blame my father, nor did I blame myself. I saw certain cause and effect happening. That gave me a lot of peace to accept the situation. Now friends, if you know like that, you will not run away from any situation. So there's always some reason, a cause behind it. Now I used to meet certain guru in India also. So sometimes he was famous for doing certain miracles. And some of their blessings only I create the situation in the programs. I call it like a meditation rock concert. In Sri Lanka I do it in a very, because I'm trying my best, how to make the meditation tasty. Not just dull and, kind of, because I have inspired my own life. Now sometimes I think I should take a rest. No. I'm going to Himalayas, facing certain hardship, but that gives you energy. That gives you sort of kind of saddha and some kind of adventure also, but it generates energy, inspiration. And then long years back, going through LTT, the war zone, I think most of you didn't know, I think most of you are new. And even the organizers are new, they're just now trying to fathom who these Bhante is. But it's okay, they will come to know. Maybe one by one now, Pindapatra, and little bit slowly, the energies and vibrations. So, if I came to some place completely new, then it will start. But I want to give my best while I'm here. I don't want you all to miss anything. So that was the reason from the beginning. Now when I'm going also, I will give you certain blessings. But in between, it is about how to make up your mind. Now, in this part especially, that anything that happens in life, that not to, you must understand there's a reason, there's a cause. What kind of husband you get, what kind of wife you get, what kind of children, bosses in working places. Everywhere there's this karmically brought that environment. So when you know like that, you will not blame anybody. You will not sort of... so this particular yogi, I remember, he used to perform certain miracles. I mean, people used to wait near him to get, cured from incurable diseases, like cancer or even like paralysis and things like that. They used to stay there. So sometimes one day he happened to come to one person. Now he doesn't come to anybody, he will call somebody or he will go to that person. Sometimes after 3 years, he will be just going to his kuti every morning, every evening, like that. He will not talk to anybody, but suddenly he might talk to somebody, or he was living in a samadhi kind of state. So one day he happened to go to one person who was there for 4 years in a wheelchair, and he said, "Get up, get up." And he said, well, he knows he can't get up, but they said, no, you get up, you can. And he helped him, and he found he could get up. And then he found that it was okay. And then everybody saw it as a miracle. Then suddenly, later on, they asked, what happened? Then he explained later in a speech. He said, you all think it's a miracle. That time, his karma is going to finish. That the karma, that's why all these 3 years or whatever, he didn't come to him, because his karma, he has to go through that. And that moment, even if he comes or he doesn't come, he's going to finish, he's going to end. So only difference is that he knows the time he told. Right? He knows the exact time. So friends, this is true. Behind when you see bodies, actually, they have a lot of samadhi. He says when he sees the bodies, he don't see people. He sees the karma they are going through now. When did they do it and when it will finish? තේනවද? කර්මවාරය යන කර්මවාරය මොකක්ද කියලා පේනවලු. පුද්ගලයන් දැකම ඇඟවල් දැක්කම මොන කර්මයේද කරේ මොන ආත්මයේද හරි මොකක් හරි ඒ කරේ විපාකෙ විඳින්න මේ වෙලාවේ මහත්යත් එක්ක කරලා නොනත් එක්ක කරලා බොස්ලත් එක්ක කරලා හොඳ වේවා වෙන්න පුළුවන් නරක වේවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ දෙකම මනුෂ්‍ය ලෝකයේ දෙකම විපාක දෙනවා. දැන් හැම එකක්ම ප්‍රොමෝෂන් හැදෙනවා, ප්‍රොමෝෂන් වෙනවා, සක්සස්ෆුල් වෙනවා හරි. ඒක විපාකයක්. අනිත් පැත්තට ඩිසපොයින්ට්මන්ට්ස් එනවා, පිට අසනීප වෙනවා, අරම වෙනවා. ඒකත් විපාකයක්. ඉතින් මේ පුද්ගලයෝ දැක්කම when they see people, he sees that immediately he says, he calls it integrated corporate awareness. Immediately when he sees the people, he sees the karma in the people. Normally we think, oh look, they look very nicely dressed, because we have learned to see superficially. We can't feel intuitively the beings, that what they are going through. So anyway, so he said, he knew the exact, time that a person, because these things we must know. Even my own self, I would not come to Australia waiting for a right time to come to, out of the country to the sort of western kind of area. I was waiting for 45 years. And all the situations got formed. But now I must quickly tell the points, because later I can add something. So very important first, that you should not worry about anything. You should know there's a reason behind it, whatever you're going through. And the other thing is, irrespective of what you're going through, if you have right thinking, right way of handling it, you can create gems out of it. Okay? You know what Angulimala, Maharatan was? He's a murderer, serial killer, I would say. But then what happened? He met the Buddha and the conditions, and what happened? He became an enlightened being in few hours, maybe half an hour maybe. So if he pondered about it and worried about, oh, I was a murderer and so on, he would have gone to even this life, he would definitely go to Apaya with those karma, by just meeting a great being. So now we have closest to that being is his teaching. We can still remove any kind of problem through our mind. If we get that thinking of detaching ourselves and letting go, that technique of letting go things. And then if you get a solid experience and connection with him, through him he's as a master. From his words, if you keep at your bedside the Dhamma books and go through it and get his thinking, get his mind into your mind, you will never regret. This I can guarantee. So I want to come quickly to certain points. Yesterday I explained these things, but I think some of them I was keeping them in suspense. So I just want to reveal some very important points which are blocking towards Nibbana. That's very important. Because normally we will study the Dhamma, so on, we are hearing discourses. There's something wrong, why we are not getting enlightened. We should have flying people flying here and there. But not only flying, we are not having even a smile. Okay? Leave alone long faces. So much worries and oh my God, what is happening to me? What is my life? So many thoughts in us. So to overcome that, the main thing is we must have a solid experience from the Dhamma. For that to happen, there needs a certain degree of purity. Purity from our defilements. Normally the mind, the Dhamma, when the people who met the Buddha had a certain standard of that period. They were having a certain standard of tranquility. Now we have passed so many years, that situation has changed. That, people have become more defilements, more impure in a certain way, because they have indulged in so many pleasures. So there are opportunities for that. So they are normally called the hindrances, the nivaranas. So pancha nivaranas, when they are absent, only the satipatthana, the wisdom activating meditation, actually starts to happen. So now this is how the Buddha explains. That's how actually margaphala or anything can happen when the 5 hindrances which weakens the mind are absent in us. So one of it is, the first one is sensual desire. Now sensual desire, in this regard, in this day and age, it's too much, that we have learned to experience it in a very strong way. So I'll go quickly to this point. In our life, normally, we have, suddenly we, go out of track. We put ourselves into like mud. Like we are going for programs, doing good things. Suddenly we go out of track in front of the computer, okay? Oh, now we don't need to go to a nightclub or somewhere. The computer is everything. Inside there you have all the things. Suddenly we do other, anything, go for drinking maybe, some people. But here you don't have, I don't think, not today, okay. So when you know that now out of track or putting into mud means you are activating a certain degree of, like lobha, dosa, moha in your system, in your mind, in your thoughts. So when you sort of activate or stimulate to a certain pitch, corresponding to that particular level of mental, this thing, certain dimensions open up. So though there are beings in this dimension, they are not higher dimensions, they are lower dimensions. And those beings enter your system and they are the ones who drive you to do this kind of, this dark side, which creates in you the dark side. So when you have like that whole life, if you allow it to go like that, this is going to be a waste. How much pink karmas, how much good things you're going to do if you don't clean this part of your life. So when you know like that, when the temptations come, this will destroy you. If you allow this, they will get nourishment when you do this again and again. So next time the temptation, you keep away, you cut away from it. So the second time you face, then you able to again keep away. Then your willpower increases. The third time, like that, then those beings don't get nourishment and they'll have to leave. And those dimensions get closed. In other words, your character get patched up. The holes get patched up. Okay, not your character. The holes in your character get patched up. Alright? So this is one way, this is very important to know. So other thing is, I tell two things. If you don't control, nothing happens on this path. One is your tongue, and other one is the sexual, you could say, part of you. You can see, the tongue is full of nerves, and then the sexual is the same. And Buddha has given special rules for this, knowing the danger. So with the tongue and this particular this thing, you have the reptilian brain, the brain that works like an animal, and then you have the special brain which thinks and analyzes, and the meditation and everything we do from that. That's also called new brain. We were talking about it, I think, called limbic brain, or what do you call that? What's the name? Reptilian brain is called, I don't know. Okay, but this understand, there are doctors here, I think. Reptilian brain? It's correct, no? There's a part where you think of food and all that. Just it works like after yesterday's thing, maybe you had a better Okay. So the reptilian brain, even if you think of food, you don't need to eat, that brain is working. So if you more the feeling, the more the taste, more the energy loss. It sort of saps the energy away from your brain, it dries it, the way I see it. So this one, very interesting. Say the sensual part, it's very difficult for me to, in sexual aspect. When the peak experience of pleasure, the brain, the reptilian brain entirely takes over. The MRI scan, I don't know what are the information I got, it takes over the entire brain, shutting down that special brain we have. So just imagine that if you, now as a monk, if I ever go through this kind of experience, we have called grave offense. We have two parts the Buddha has, this thing, the offenses or the rules, monastic rules. So one is called grave offense, Garukapati, and the other one is Lahukapati, that is minor offense. So in the Garukapati, the first four, if you break, we have to destroy. And then the 12, under the 12, the first two, this is regarding certain, bad habits, I would call it. Then we have a way of purification, but still it is grave offense. That means it disturbs and disrupts our wisdom. That's the special brain. Now we can understand why when you're going through that kind of experience, the reptilian brain takes over entirely and it gets shut down. That's in the MRI scan or whatever. Then I saw this, and that time it gave me a shock. It's interesting because Buddha's time, this kind of things were not in the society. It was not happening too much. Now, even in the monks community, after 20 years, the first 20 years, there's no rules. Then suddenly these things were happening in the society. I'm sorry, in the community of the monks. And then he laid down the rules after 20 years. That was few monks. They were quickly attaining enlightenment. But now it's difficult to find people who are not in this particular. Actually, this is mainly for age of 14, 20 everybody. I wish in our schools and all that we were taught this. So it's interesting, because this is a big. If you have these defects, how much you do pinkamas, not pinkamas, study the Dhamma, everything, I think, nothing will happen. You will be draining energy and you will be creating that damage. And especially in your meditation, this is not possible. You will do normally, okay, pinkamas, 5 minutes meditation, okay, but also you will lose your beauty. I will tell about that also. I hope the time is going tick, tick, tick. Okay. So this is very interesting, important. You must keep this in mind. And very interesting, in the Western countries, there are groups who are knowing the damage of these things. They are practicing refraining from these activities for 3 days, 1 week, 1 month, like that. And this I want to, from the age of 14, anyone can refer. YouTube you'll find. It's called NoFap. NoFaPP. So you don't need to know the meaning now. When I leave Australia, you can know. Okay. Right? But I tell always, I don't want to keep. I want to give you information. And in the Vindhyasian time, there's something called Kumara Brahmacharya. I don't know how to translate. Maybe Prince Celibacy. When you're studying and doing all this from the age of 14, this was practice. Now we don't know the word, we don't know the meaning of it even. So what happens? Because we are in an Asuric civilization. It's not Arya civilization. It's completely about you live and die, that's it, that's life. So you enjoy, if that is so, I also would not wear these robes and do all these things. No need, I'll be dying and it's all finished. But, I don't want to be an atheist also. I don't want to be a kind of atheist means like this. This is true and how can I deny it? It's not possible. So many things, this rebirth and karma. So this is one aspect you must know. If you're the young people or even a little older, if they are not, this might help. You must read these things. I'm not go through that. Other one is I want to explain. I had a particular, maybe I'm getting Australian accents a little bit. No, and I never like this accent, when we don't like, in South Africa, the American and Australian, they have a drawn out. But sometimes because I sort of mold with the environment, you just try to, anyway, it's okay. There was one rishi, like a master. I saw what he did. Who had a lot of problems, this to come to him. This happened recently. So he had now behind you, there are sometimes certain spirits coming behind you, which means ancestors and all that. You don't see them. Sometimes in my programs, they get a little excited. And it happened in Melbourne. One of the programs, but I don't want to. It was a special program also because this lady was trying to do a program in that area. She was going behind the organizers so many times, and then it was really a special one too. So anyway, maybe today, I don't know, my last one maybe, we'll see. So this particular rishi, he's able to sort of make them manifest, They will, like, who are coming behind you, bring them into your body and make them talk. So sometimes young boy, his mother, big problem. It's always, he's with the computers and, kind of, corner, and She doesn't know what to do, and sometimes he's going to parties and things like that. So the mother brought him. He's not very young, but he's quite old also. So then suddenly, this particular master, he made this particular boy, like he was not conscious. Somebody else was talking. He asked, "Who are you?" He said, Naga or Naga, Naga spirit or something like that. I don't know. Snake spirit or something like this. And then he said, when did you enter, where are you? Sir, I stay in this body. This is my body. I said, when did you enter, when did you come? 10 years ago. How did you come? He was playing games. When he was playing games, I couldn't understand, I also couldn't understand games. It's an innocent thing. But now I understand. Because say when you practice, like metta, bhavana and all, now parents might get worried, don't I tell you solutions also, right? Okay, don't worry about it. Even my brother, they all got caught to this modern day. When you practice metta to all beings, like it's a mental thought, may all beings be happy, well, and so on. When you're always doing like that, a certain consciousness gets formed. And if you get into samadhi, you will go to Brahmaloka. So the other way, say you're fighting, killing, and something like this, I don't know. Something activating raga. There are too many types of games now. It's very funny, Games of raga, games of dvesha. It's all formed inside the computer. If they have made sin with games, so what happened? It makes you addictive. Why? It makes you pump the dopamine. I forget now. Dopamine? Yes. The addictive, what it shoots or what? These hormones. And the same level of heroin addict, I think Oxford or Cambridge somewhere they have this, but I don't know, they don't put it so well out. Maybe there's some control by some, organization, that this same amount is, sort of secreted or whatever, when you're playing games as a heroin addict. Do you know these studies? No. So just imagine. So that's why, this looks so decent and so on. So that you can understand when you're saying, kill or something like that. So you're creating a consciousness of a lower dimension. And then surely those beings, you get contact. They are invisible, but you can know your behavior. Why you addicted to something? Maybe teledramas also, soap operas, anything in the sensual world. There's somebody in India, they told Bante, he was dropping me to the airport. So he doesn't know me well, but I thought I should share something. I know him, he's our relation from previous lives. So what happened? Like yesterday, all of you very funny, who is this Bante? But I was very free with you, right? So I'm not touched to nobody, but so I feel very much close to you. One day we will get to know maybe who is this person. So anyway, this man, I told him, you should not drink. When you drink, the Bhut Pret, the Indian way of pronouncing Bhut means evil spirits. Bhut Pret like that smell, I told him. He said, no, Swamiji, he called me Swamiji. I don't drink at all. I said, okay, you don't drink. But he said, once a month I take a beer with some friends. When he said like that, I said, okay, you have a baby Bhut Pret. Yes. If you even have addiction to watching news and things like that, surely you have a spirit, but not a rough one, not a, it's okay. But still you have these things, my friend. You must notice this, so you must learn to clear any kind of knowing anything. Like if you say you're not addicted, you don't need to do it, then stop. Next time don't do it for 1 week. But you find you can't wait, you want to do it, you are hooked up. Then you must give it up. Anything, with it. So you should check all these things in a human brain, in a human life, we can do all these things. So, another place when the spirit enters, they said they came through Facebook. Through Facebook. I don't know. I only know the name Facebook. I know to operate YouTube. Facebook, I can only know if it is activating raga, dosa, moha in some form. Definitely these spirits are entering through that. And they are operating. And one place they said, what is it? The page, when he opens the page or something, that they are in our control. He's in our control. That means something you want to, you just peeping maybe. That definitely will catch you. And then you want to, just go and tell, maybe tomorrow I try to restrain myself. So these are points I'm giving you might have to face. You're always in the modern day. And the other thing, you might think you're a bad person doing all these things. No. The spirit, those people, they were telling one time, we catch the people who have a star in them. That means they notice the special persons who are, going to liberate, they said, who is going to really help his generations, family, they see them, and they specially catch the people who are really going to do something in life. You understand? So people who are caught up in these things, when it's removed, they are going to be a star. Perum Puranaya Vendapurva. Parami Puranaya Vendapurva. Iglamma tamai allagane pingatni. E maarayage e kriyakarithaya. See, mum meva kiwama, when I told about these things in Melbourne, initially little bit only. So I found, some of the young boys, he want to be a monk also. I hope you will not recognize him. Not one, any of them here. Okay, they are safe, right? But I know all of them also. I hope these teachings will help them. Because I want them. They are great super souls, and they are going to be removed from all obstacles, and they are going to do something in the future now. They must, and this is the time it's coming for that. So this boy, he told me, Bhante, after 4 days he met me. He said, well, Bhante, what you told about, I didn't know about it, through the internet or something. I don't want to tell the details. Then when he went to Melbourne city centre or something, he was tempted to do something. But he suddenly remembered that this spirit, this must be the one that is driving me. And then he kept away from that. So at least, I felt so happy. Just the person going towards sin again and again, this must be broken. So the thing is, when we do these things, we convince ourselves. We live in a kind of mithya ditti. We convince ourselves, no, maybe this is karma, we have to go through this or something like that. We justify, otherwise we can't enjoy it. So when we know this is really damaging and destroying us, then we can't enjoy. We don't want to kill, we love ourselves so much. So these points, I hope they will help. Another one is, they used to tell, like when you put Pirit Vatura, Pirit Vatura, burning. Now I never recommend all these kind of rituals, but after seeing that, I would recommend Pirit Vatura, some burning. And another place they say, what was it? When don't tell the name of that person. Some of us nearly died, Who was that? The name of the Buddha, the Pirit chanting. And another place, they say, what was it? Don't read that book on. Some of us died completely. The Dharma book, now this, for me, it's really a nice thing because many of us will do toil and, like in Sri Lanka, we have all these rituals to take the spirits away. But to know that, but I understand now, when you read the Dharma books, why? It removes illusions, it breaks the illusions. And that is the direct hit. The source of it's a direct hit. So, and they will be they will die definitely. The Bujjangas, when they get activated. So Buddha's main these things to activate wisdom. Wisdom is the opposite of illusions and ignorance. So when that happens, definitely to clear all your problems from the root. So these are 3 points I remember from this experience I had. I hope they will help you. What shall I speak for you? I'd like to speak some of my experiences here and there, but I'm tempted to give you points only because I'm stressed by this time factor. We have to finish in another 1 hour. Otherwise, they will have a big problem. The council or something. So we can't create trouble for Bhante. Let me give you some points more. other thing is, you should not be in a state of, worry and fear. This is important. I told you about, did I tell you about that everything happens to your good? About something about this? Because all of you are new maybe, right? Do you know about the king who went hunting? No, okay, yes, good. Some of them know in, okay, tell this. This, don't know, අරදිනවා YouTube එකට එනං හොඳයි රජු අර hunting ගිහිල්ලා නැති වෙලා නේ okay I will tell this. So there was a king one time in India, and he had a very, one day in the morning when he was practicing with his sword, he cut his finger. Then those in India, they always believe in a lot of omens and things like that, So he called his main advisor and the minister. He told, in the morning I was practicing, this happened. What is the meaning, what is... So he said, this is, well, Sire, everything happens to your good. But he was very angry, so painful, and then he said, you are really stupid, you should have given a better answer. You are not giving proper advice. And told the guards to put him in the dungeon. Then he happened to go on a hunting trip. When he went on this hunting trip, suddenly he was chasing a game, and then he lost his way, and he came to this. Now this for young ones, they were sleeping. Okay, all right, they're too tired. Yeah, this is a bedtime. Yeah, 9 o'clock. I thought we had a program at 3 or something, but now it was already organized. They had plenty of time. And so who are awake, I will try. Okay, you brought your... Do you get out? Mata? Me mata. Lame get out? Mata get lame? Get out? Nani? Eliada? So I must say, as far as get handling, okay, not pay on. Think about it. Think of Mahali. Look at the. Sorry? Yeah. So at that particular this thing, what was it? This particular king, he lost his way, and he was caught by maybe the Aborigines those days, right? But I think Aborigines are not. These Aborigines maybe they were having this human sacrifice. So they were having a puja at that time, some kind of puja. So in that they were having a human sacrifice. So suddenly this handsome man came, this king. So their guards, they caught him, and they thought, oh, this can be the better sacrifice than the one we are having. So what happened? They removed the other person, and then they undressed the king, and they tied him. And before that, their main priest or whatever, he was checking for any, must be perfect. So from the ears, and he had to open his mouth. He can't explain, I'm the king of the land. He just had to do everything. They don't know the language. So then finally, well, they checked everywhere. And then they saw this cut. Oh, they said, he's not a perfect body, So what happened? They released him. So somehow he, managed to come. He had no clothes or anything. Then he came to a village, and then finally he managed to come to his castle. So now he was thinking, in his palace, hey, this saved me, my minister told that everything happens to my good. Yes, this did some good for me. He saved my life. Then he said, I must call him, I must. Then he told to bring the minister from the dungeon. And then he was brought. And he asked, this happened to me. You're right. But what could happen to you? Because you for 10 days you were suffering, He said, Sire, I'm very loyal to you. I will never let you alone. I will be following you wherever you go. And I would have definitely followed you. And I also would have been caught. And I have nothing, no problem in my body. And I have been sacrificed. Right? But I add another thing to this. Who have good intentions, everything happens to their good. Now even my teacher, he failed in Latin in Germany. So he couldn't go to the university because of that. Then he went to do business. He came to Hamburg from a village and then came to India like that. So if he passed and he went to the university, Hitler came to power. Second World War time. And he would have been recruited. He would have been a dead man. No Nibbana, nothing. So my friends, we don't know. Everything happens to your good. Another story I will tell you. I have many stories, but now I have to. Something just comes up later on, because I have a long time not preaching and teaching like this. Keep silent. This is also another type of sacrifice for me. You know about this is good for the doctors, but now they have maybe they have other exams to pass. Maybe knowing that for appendicitis there's a certain vein or something when in operations in the past when you operate, normally they cut that and people die. Have you heard about this? Then there was a surgeon who found the technique to separate the vein. Westwood or whatever. He was from Bangalore, and it's named after him. I don't know his name. So he's someone who found this thing. He has failed MBBS 3 times. I think if you fail like that, you have to wait for 1 year and do like something like that, right? So he had to do like that. He's such a student. So if you pass the first time things, by hook or crook you are passing that. You don't master the subject. But when you have failures like that, you master the subject. You understand? When you have failures in life, you're going to be a master of life. You get this point? This is very important. Better than meditation, now you are a little bit lightening up. Okay? This today, modern day, we have so much, we are thinking about our lives, what has happened to us, what are we going to do? We are like hopeless state, This is, when you think like that, you will become hopeless. This, what you think you become. When you can take adversities and this thing as a kind of, that a blessing that has come, it is a sign that you are going to come to a great thing in the future. Now when I'm talking, I don't have much time to explain my own life. I have told you all, I think, I tell that in 2015, I faced near death. Have you heard from anywhere even? Because it's boring for me to tell about it all again and again. But the new people know, no? Yesterday, but okay. You don't know about it, no? When you know, you know what?
I was here yesterday.
Others? No? Okay. Because you might think this Bhante is laughing, happy, like this, like that, he's a ghost. it's a ghost you are seeing. I faced several times, like, 2000, with the elephant also, close by, as a young monk. Okay, that was quite close, but anyway, then I had, in the jungle, I faced certain, where when I'm cutting across that year, I was going from jungle to jungle, 2004, and then also I had damage in my body, and I was in a very big, difficult situation. So the meditation that helped me, this I'm going to demonstrate the last part, so you get some taste of it, to do the Dhamma practice. And so this, that time, and then another one was 2000, every time I had dangers actually, through LTT also, but 2013, 14, I had this altitude sickness. And there also I was hanging on to life. 2015 was a real one. 14 I faced it, but 2015, it was, it just like pushing me something, and that's something what happened there only that makes me come here. So that moment, that night in Manasarova Lake, it's like a desert, nobody except my guide and the driver, only 2 of us, and there's nothing, they don't got oxygen. In high altitude you get a sickness called altitude sickness, and normally I think water goes to your brain and then it swells and you get the severe headache. Other ones, your lungs could be affected. I heard that normally doctors who are trained, they also don't know much about that kind of, disease, because that is in the high altitude. So there I faced this. I have seen people die previous trips. Some people just almost die and they recover. I have seen all that. So when I got it, I know I got it now. And then, like I was losing any strength, just to lift my hand even. Normally it said you go into a coma. So slowly, I'm like I was breathless. Like you run like a marathon. And it's like that. How long to go like that? So that time, about 1 o'clock to 12 o'clock, the doctor came from a village, not a qualified person. He gave some local something. But I had to wait. So now I'm preparing to face death. So when normally I have practice now, we have trained long time a certain practice, how to watch ourselves, like from outside, the body and the mind. So like you don't say it's my mind, you'll be watching yourself, so-called self. And this practice I prepared. Before I prepared that, another thought came, I couldn't share enough with the people. Then I thought, can't help it, now I have to face this death, and now I must, you can't help it now, next life. I just had to make up my mind, and then I was observing. So anyway, I managed to survive. It's a long story. It took some months to really properly survive. Not only that, some other problems also came. Not one. Now this I can tell. There are some things that came after that, which I can't tell all of you. Like the demon, it directly attacked. That's what I got to know. We know in Buddha's time, we have heard about Tanha Rati Raga. When he was about to be enlightened, he faced this. Now, we don't, today many of the, even monks don't face this because most of us are in the lap of Mara. If you're really trying to come out, you will have something similar to this experience. So then I learned a lesson that, main thing that makes us go down is to, like I made this English, it's not a proper English word, but it conveys the meaning not to egolize it. Actually not to personalize it. But that's the word, this is not strong enough. The ego that comes in and identify with what happened, that what puts you down. To think something happened to you or that somebody did something to you. You must think that's just a happening. And you must know that this is, the trick is, if you continue, you have a great achievement in front of you. So you must just pass by those obstacles. Not ponder on it or wait for it, just go on. So this happened to me in 2016. I went to again Himalayas. I continued the practice and certain things happened. I don't know, their auntie, this one of the people who know me, they knew, they saw, no shine. I had no shine. I was like, my soul, my body, all was like dead, killed when I came to Sri Lanka. It's nice to know these things, practically to go through these things. Anyway, it took me slowly to recover. In Buddha Gaya, I went, took some food properly and just start the meditation, continue. Then most of the people who know me, they are like blindly also believing me, So I asked them, they say, oh Bhante, you look okay, everything okay? No, there are only 2 people I remember. They should tell, no Bhante, the shine is not there still. So I was counting, I was practicing, because I know there will be that energy coming from inside me, but that has been killed. So I continue, and like I asked these 2 people, like mirror in the wall, who is the prettiest, like something like that, I asked these people, how do I look now? I said, no Bhante, what happened to you? They asked, 1 month, 2 months, 3rd month. I said, now you okay. So this is, this can completely get hold of you also. So, but if you continue, then 2014, 15, then 16, I went again. Then I had a very good experience. I didn't have the altitude problem, but it's tough there, high altitude anyway. But I had a very encouraging. So actually I might go just after this trip now. That's why I'm going after 12th. This is the month that's good weather in the Himalayas. So anyway, and then now if it happened, I don't think I'll get that thought. Many in Melbourne, of course, they said, Bhante, you don't have to worry, you will never get this thought. We got certain things that you can be happy. They were like telling me, don't now, Bhante, you really got something. Yeah, because I want to clear that. There's some duty. You should never get these thoughts when you're dying. You should feel okay. You have done your karmic duties. Then you don't have memories of, I wish I did this or that or something like that. So we don't know. So that happened. Where was I now? That's okay. Yeah, these points I want to tell. So this is like for me bonus. From 2015 is like bonus time. So I feel if anyone or some people actually can come to meet me hearing these things who have great crisis and they think, oh, Bhante might give us some solution because he has gone through also certain difficulties and trouble. Yes, I can definitely tell you how to face death or how to sort of make up your mind and prepare for these things or any other crisis. Sometimes we have problem with family, wives, husbands, like that's also family problem also is like a hell. Suddenly husband is going to do something negative or some bad thing, wife is doing something. These things can happen. I have seen one family came from, I don't want to tell where, but certain place 2 days back, and they want to get some answer. They kept invite me for some place, and then I realized they said one daughter. This might get recorded, okay. But I want to convey this point. One daughter came to, what was it? Naya Givandavalu. Tavadduek Kavilatini Naya Ganda Kira. Then this with anger they are telling because they're disappointed with one daughter. I said, my God, don't think like that, even mother. That is the daughter who is going to give you blessings. It's true. So then she got peace of mind also. We have learned to think in a way that makes us suffer. And then she said, is that so, Bhante? She said, then yes. Because she is the one who is going to give you, because you don't know the full picture. It may be your child, but that time she had to go through that karma. And suddenly she had to do mistakes. But you have an idea that she should be like this, like that, and then it's not happening. And then, so if you know like that, you'll help her. You will have more kindness to her, and then, and you also have karma to face with her. And then if you become kind and accepting the situation, that will remove all your, what you have to remove from your system. And they will also get support. Now some of them, they run and came. My husband is going, involved with one woman or lady in the office or something like that. So she came, I said, don't worry, your husband, because if you have this kind of happening, it's these spirits, negative things are in you. Even they also don't like to, they also don't want to do this kind of thing. But it's something drives them to do. And they also feel guilty and sad, and so when when these bad karma comes, these spirits also enter and you get into this kind of distractions. This I have studied. So if the wife knows about this happening, she'll be more understanding. And she has to be detached also, because if you expect otherwise you want to kill him, okay, or kill her. Sometimes these things happen. I have met. I don't want this. It could be long now. So just I want to give some important points. So this, when I told that lady, this is happening, your husband must be facing, so just be kind to him, tell him that don't worry, we'll do a Bodhi Puja for you. And give him some strength, he will fall in love with you again and again. To know that you have such an understanding wife. You understand, but for that you have to have a lot of detachment. Otherwise difficult, Otherwise you want to, you're expecting so much, like your dreams are all shattered. So you have to be quite a practitioner to do that. But I'm sure you all can try that with everybody, with your children, with your family, with your bosses. If you have more understanding and detachment, things will happen. And this one I don't want to miss. And I told about how to find a perfect husband and perfect wife, no? I told you, no?
Yes.
Did I tell you last time?
The book.
Yeah. About the book. Then I tell you about a chapati story, okay? Chapati one I will tell quickly before we come to... this is like how karma comes behind you. Okay, don't go leave face the situation. We can't escape from our sort of situation, So there's supposed to be once a very rich family. This family, their daughter married a poor boy, poor gentleman. He was not rich. So when they married, she also became poor, She has to go and live with him. So every day, like in India, in Sri Lanka, I don't know what, they are all every day eating roti. So cheap food, it makes you sustain, and so rotis are like a staple food, so they eat roti, and they thought, husband one day thought, always eating roti. Maybe we will go to our father-in-law's home and we can have a special dish, so change. So they send a message at 7 o'clock or so, they are coming for dinner. Not for dinner, just visit. So of course 7 means you will have dinner also at home. So what happened? They go, and when they go to this house, the father thinks, father-in-law actually, he thinks, oh well, doesn't matter, she can be here. It's okay. We're having a bad dream. So then the father-in-law thinks, well, this my son-in-law, and then after a long time they are coming. I must specially make some food, proper food for them. And then he called the butler or whoever, and they said, well, my son-in-law, they are coming. You make something special. Maybe you make something which, that they feel at home. And maybe you can make roti for them. So, okay, you make your best roti. So they come to the house, and then this son-in-law also, you want to go for too many conversations, you want to quickly go for the meal. So they, then quickly came for dinner time, and then they were there. So it's all closed, the things, and it's brought. And then, so he opened it. And he opened, so, roti. Then he looked at it and said, how do you come so far from far? He said, the roti spoke, your karma brought me here. Yes, my friends. Sometimes, we don't know. We run away from one husband to one this thing or one. We find we are getting the same roti wherever we go. Okay? So don't think of it now. Second thoughts you have, right? Better to stick to your own roti. And everything will be okay. And, even jobs and things like that. You see, you don't change. Unless you have to break the 5 precepts. This you make a change according to that. Then that you don't make new karma. So, shall we do? We have another half an hour. Other thing is now, any question you want to ask? I'm going to talk about something about, so I hope these points are clear to you. About what if you have addictions, that you must clear these things for 3 days, other important thing. Now this is the positive side. Now when you don't do these things, abstain from, I told you, these negative habits and all that for some days, okay? Then when your raga, dosa, moha decrease to a certain level, what happens? Something else also should be created in the body. Like we have adrenaline or endorphins, no? Endorphins. Yeah? Endorphins, no? When you're doing jogging and all that, it's endorphin. Okay. So endorphins, like that, these are created in the brain. So the other way also, when you are like calming down, doing meditation and tranquilizing and restraining from these strong passions in your body, in your mind, something also should be created. Now, other thing I must tell you, with raga and all that, there are spirits who eat that muck. I want to go to details because, okay, I hope it will become traffic. They eat that muck and they, stay around your body. And the other thing, you look like a ghost, you might have to show your card, visiting card, a kid to impress others. But bhute kage, no personality. Day by day you are destroyed, your personality gets destroyed. And this happens, my friend. You must think about all the negative things that happen. This is true. I mean, you can look at the younger people, they are about, some of them, 20 years old, they look 40. All drawn out, here, no. But I have seen even but luckily I met them. I'm telling this, I wish somebody told this kind of thing to me when I was a young boy. Because of shyness, I saved myself. Otherwise, I would not be a monk, because I would have got disturbed going to all these discos and parties of the school and all that. So luckily, due to because my father would have been happy also if I went, because he would like me if I looked Western. He's that he was like that, so he thought, but something protected me, something. So other thing, my friends, say you don't know, when you refrain from these things, when your mind gets calm and you have this coming for even like this, for meditation and things like that, when the mind gets to a certain calmness, something should get created also, right? Now that is normally in medical science, I think they know, they have found, there is something. It's called Ojas. Ojas Tejas. This Ojas Tejas normally goes to your brain. It goes from inside. It's a kind of not a really like they have this new particles, right? They break. So it's not a clear thing. I mean, in the medical science, I don't think in the Ayurveda, this is known. It's called Ojas Tejas. These Ojas, this substance, they go into your brain. It's like your essence. And it opens up the areas of your brain which are not functioning, and it gets deposited. I tell you, you will open the cool part of your brain. So when that part starts to operate more, you get those thoughts, those inclinations to meditate. Like adrenaline makes you to get angry, like the same, they have a relationship like that. So this makes you have those thoughts, and then you have more of those thoughts, you get more of this substance. More this goes to your brain, your aura begins to shine. And you get a shine in your cheeks and forehead. So I tell, don't lose the shine in your cheeks if you get it. This thing shows the strength, and if you develop that more and more, you make a mark in life. Something, you will do something. You will do something special. So this is very important to know the positive side of it. Now, have you heard of Swami Vivekananda? No. Some of you know, no? Okay. So he was there at the Parliament of Religions in Chicago in 1895. That time Anagarika Dharmapala also representing Buddhism, and there were others representing Hinduism, but he came, I don't know, from some destiny. He came to the Parliament of, when his speech he was so shy, 7,000 in the auditorium. He didn't want to give this speech. He was waiting. And when he spoke, they say, he just said, sisters and brothers of America. They say his voice is like a Chinese gong. And it pierced through the heart. So now that time, no recording like this, they had a kind of, the paper reporters. They say the Parliament went mad, the reporters. They were clapping for 5 minutes. From present, they said, we paid tribute to something which we didn't know what it was. That was the way they were worshipping. They were just thinking, what was this? It was like something like a bomb. So later on they interviewed him and they asked, Swamiji, what was that power? What was that thing that, then he said, there's a practice in the Hindu yoga system. For 12 years, you don't even think of women, ladies. You don't even think. You control your thoughts. So, but when I heard that, it was too much for me. I think, I can't relate anything. But Mahatma Gandhi's, I can relate. He struggle, and this gives me hope. You have a success stories that much, you can't, you think it's good for him, not for me. So anyway, Swami Vivekananda, he says 12 years there's a practice where when you don't even think, you control your thoughts, a certain veil in your brain, it is taken away, removed. And then a super brain starts to work. And that practice he did, he said, and that purity burst out. during the Parliament of Religions. So my friends, these are positive sides I'm telling, to give you some idea. So you will, but otherwise you will think, oh my God, all this restraint, discipline, what is the blessings of it? You must know. Then only you will, feel inspired to sort of do it. So these points I explained. So I've covered all these things. Now I must go to a very important point. Now with this clearing your character and your life, this is all for the purpose of what? That you will attain Nibbana. That you will not miss the bus. And that you will not miss this bus. So when you clear your life, you're paving the way to actually to meditate. And the other thing is you must learn to do the meditation while you're doing the work. In your working place and all that. That's very important. It's not when you're in a monastery, that technique you must master. Now I told you in this place in Berik, some of them were taking me here and there. They asked me this question, Bhante, how to do it while you're doing the work. So I immediately demonstrated one time. I touched his head and tell him to calm, cool now. Just relax now while you're driving. And he got an idea, like he was holding like this the steering wheel, and then he became this thing. Before that, also it was a rough ride for me, go like this, And then I said, okay, I'll wait, no problem. It's like a safari ride it was in the city. So I thought, what the tension level these people are having, but I didn't want to say anything, I waited. And after that, it was a smooth ride. They were mastering that. But you have to remind yourself, you can't, these are things, the small things. How to, when you're doing the work, so you must, in the morning at least, you must start to do some puja and inspire, I put some music I told, some kind of devotion. So these things to inspire yourself, to make it in the work, where you have gyms, they have this, what you call it, tube music going on, right? Aerobics and all that, like this. You understand? You have to make your Dhamma practice also lively, not in a puja room, this is like, how am I going to pass this time, finish this and go. Unfortunately, you have not learned to make it tasty. So if you can do like that, you create this inspiration, you will not want to go out of that practice. You feel, okay, I have to go due to my duty, but you will always try to come to this particular practice. So this is important. We are coming close, the time is passing fast. All these things, very important. But the other thing is, you must get a correct GPS. I don't know, sometimes GPS also goes wrong, right? I heard. Does it?
Yes.
Yeah, because that is also programmed. Here I was exposed to all the GPS and things like that. We call it the Guru position. Guru positioning system, okay? Yeah, we have it in the Dhamma also. So we have to, this is in a way it's actually called the Dhamma. In my case also, my teacher, being a foreigner, they were not influenced by any culture or anything. So they were referring to the original words of the Buddha. So unfortunately in Sri Lanka, the Sinhalese translations and things like that is a bit of a problem. So people are repelled. When he says sutra, it's like a headache. Because unfortunately, so there are some translations, this you must take it as your guide. That is also meditation, reading the suttas. Now say you hear Bana from me and you understand something of what I say, then you will have faith in me, not in the Buddha. So to get a connection with the Buddha, these words of the Buddha, they must be gone, you must get familiarized with it. And that is a meditation. And whatever I'm saying, like they say, how many of you want to attain Sotapanna? Do you have heard this? How many want, Buddhist, they all want to attain Sotapanna. How many of you? How many of you? Small fingers, huh? Half, like, no better experience the world and attain it, right? Yeah, most of you, I hope. Yeah, really. Now I will come to that topic. You will not be disappointed. Okay, I'm creating a background some of them think that Bhante is not, you see, maybe someone think, why is he not talking about the sutras and all this, I'm a practitioner, I see what is the block you are having now. I will not go to that. My teacher was the same. Now some of them have been asking how the walking meditation to be done like this so many times. I never revealed to them. Only in Melbourne, the day retreat came, at least a retreat situation should come for me to demonstrate that. So they at least videoed that in case something happened to Himalayas, at least that is recorded for you all to study. Yeah, really. Because otherwise, how to do the walking, that's all. You let a Nibbana in that practice. But I don't want to tell you in a discourse like that, it's just not our way. It's giving you too much knowledge. It's to see next step, next step. You don't think of high, okay, you have a goal, but you must know with humility what is your next step to go if you really want to progress. So, my teacher was same with me. He gave me certain things based on how I practice. So I'm not in a hurry. I don't want to show my knowledge or something. That's not my duty. I have some love for people. I will be patient at the right time, maybe. So if you want to attain Sotapanna, you have heard 4 factors are the cause of it. By praying, it doesn't happen. You know what are the 4 factors? Sorry? We have to go very fast. No, sorry. What are the causes for Sotapanna? There are 4. Yeah, okay. So Satpurusha Samsevo is the first. Kalyana Mitra, that is Satpurusha Samsevo, Saddhamma Samana, Yoniso Manasikara, Dhammana Dhamma Patipada. Satpurusha Samsevo is a good friend, right friend. Right friend means not someone who helps you to do good things. He should be at least who have attained Sotapanna. Okay? Otherwise, how can you know? He must be a person at least who have attained that. So, when you associate such a person, he will talk about the Saddhamma. But how can we guarantee, Maybe because his face is shining, even can you tell he has attained Sotapanna? We can't judge from our defilements. So, we can't be sure whether he is actually, so we are sure of the Buddha's words, the Dhamma, which is recorded. That is your Satpurusha now, after he's gone. He has told already in the Mahaparinirvana Sutta, when I am gone, my Dhamma Vinaya will be your teacher. Don't think Ananda, I am gone, this will be your teacher. So, but that also you have to do it as a meditation, not read. You have to learn to apply it. Now a little bit I'll be doing it, time is short, so at least you get some idea when you read how to do it. You will apply, it's like a signpost. When you apply, if you hold into some things, you must read the Dhamma, prepare to leave, let go. If you are going with a greedy mind, that's not a nice encouragement. You can't get an idea. When you have an idea of letting go or sort of releasing your hold on the world, this is a great help. Because somewhere we are holding, it allows you to let go. And you will see when you're applying it, sometimes you're worried about your child or something, mother or father, some happening. But when you look at it through that, it tells you it's a Vedana Sanya. So you don't tell this is Ammi, this is a Vedana Sanya that I had, a perception. This is true, this is the actual truth. And then if you had some worries about it, it will fall off. And then your mind, whatever you are having immediately, you learn to apply it, and that will let you let go and release. And you will get a cool feeling in your forehead, this area, when you are reading a sutta and applying to your present experiences. And that's why the sutra is like a tonic. And when you go finish a sutta, you will feel refreshed. When you know properly to apply, it's not something to rush, answering. It's something to quietly sort of apply and get. You need to be quite restful to do it. The standard of restfulness means standard of purity. But when you do these things, you're on the path. You're bound to, you're in the right particular direction. Then that is when you're deeply, then only that inner brain starts to work, that intuitive Dhammai, when you silently learn to allow this particular, not a repetition from a memory or something, you learn to activate that intuitive I. So we'll have to go for this exercise of meditation. I'm rushing like this, I feel very difficult for me to, I don't want to rush these things, but I think I've touched most of it, okay? For all of you. So So I recommend, if you can read, the English translations are good. Word of the Buddha by Jnanatiloka Mahathera. It's a small book. It's a handy book. You can even take Sotapanna, what it contains in that. But I hope you can take it as they are the objects of meditation. Not what I would explain. Now when I explain like this in Berwick and all that, some of them says, but then should we not listen to any other discourses and things? No, you should listen. You should get, because they have no experiences, some of the people now. In our case also, we had time to study and, okay, now I explain some things, you must listen. But don't record this and take it and listen only to this. Or ask me about, because this is my experiences. So if you can get some points, to take your life free from certain tensions and things, but independently, you must read the book, you must talk to the Buddha. This must happen, then no one can trick you. You will not be wasting your energies. Definitely you put forth energy, you will attain the phala from that. So this is the only main thing I want to give. And but little bit I will be demonstrating how to meditate, okay? We will do it now. Yesterday I did already the same thing. Wait, some of the gentlemen is not there, no? Okay. He's here? No. Where?
At the back.
Oh, today back? Maybe he's frightened today that I'll call him. Maybe in the daytime he went somewhere out. Okay? Don't worry. Yeah, right. Okay. Maybe I will. He's my. See, this time he's my pupil now. He's great, He's took me to some nice places which I like. The mountain there, Parvatadabhimiya. Yeah, it's really nice. Gave me some fresh air, and then my world. And there's all these concrete, auditoriums and these buildings with sofas. This is not my place. Anyway, maybe I will, let's see. We quickly do because, but because I don't want you to, someone who does, who has come today? No, I can't use a lady for this. Anyone? Mandi? Mother? You came today or yesterday? You? Today? Did you come?
Yesterday.
You came yesterday.
But I can't come.
No. I want someone new, so that, let me see. I think that gentleman? Yeah? Did you come today?
No, only today.
Okay then. Okay.
You want me to come there?
Yes, please. He's a brave person, so no trouble. Just I want to demonstrate how to relax, okay? You can sit. You must relax and sit down somewhere. Yeah. Have you seen in the YouTube or anywhere? So you might have.
Yesterday I have seen, but it's not exactly what you're trying to do today. Right?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I will do a new one also. So just I want to show them how to relax, okay?
Yeah.
So you do it. Don't forget about this crowd. You think actually this is a sanya, a perception. So only thing you have to sit down in a comfortable way where you don't feel about the body. Can you lean on this?
Yeah, I have to. Otherwise, I don't feel comfortable.
But it's not. I also need to lean.
No, I don't think it's stable for me to. But you don't mind I'm going to sit there?
No. But can you see? You can come here. Maybe.
Yeah, this will be fine.
Try to sit comfortably and couple dikkaret kamat nahi. And comfortable is your body. That's comfortable, right?
To be honest, it is not comfortable. Is it okay if I sit here?
Okay.
No, yes. Yes.
So now just focus on don't forget about it. Okay? And when you're sleeping, you forget about the area. You just want to leave everything.
Yes.
Right? Get that thought. Problem is you will not see the body too much. Not holding the body now. You have an idea about it.
So, just like think you're going to fall, you're going to sleep, and you're going to forget about this area and these people and all that. It's just a perception from the eyes. I will be doing something, don't pay attention to that, right?
Yes.
Just pay, I think I'm just a doctor or somebody, examining you. Just pay attention to think of your mind and see how it will relax. You can take a deep breath and let me all take all the tension away. Like that, don't feel stiff also. This is there, somebody doing like, take a deep breath and let me relax. Okay? Something like that. Okay, you can just sit down.
I have to do martial arts, so probably then maybe I used to do meditation.
Yeah, martial arts also teach you. I need someone who can't do it also. Let's see. So he has basic, idea of relaxing.
That's important. Maybe you have no time to go on. Because otherwise I have to use this thing to relax the person. So this important that physical relaxation is called Kaya Viveka normally in the text, and then you have Chitta Viveka. If you don't have Kaya Viveka, you can't go to Chitta Viveka. So that ability to just let go the body and relax the body, that's very important. Now you get that idea. Otherwise, yesterday I did this, no? Some techniques to relax. Okay, one more. Take your hands. Just shake. Not in like a baby way, right? The babies are more vigorous. Okay. Better. Okay. Right there, go like this. And relax. You must sit in a comfortable posture where you don't feel about the body, You have very little time. Try to finish it quickly. Hope so. And just observe yourself like watching from outside. How you're seated, I'm seated. How you are, and watching yourself like this. Pay attention to what sounds you're hearing now. When you're relaxing and paying attention, you will notice your breathing. It will come naturally, a kind of awareness of that, how you are inhaling and exhaling. Don't notice the breath, just come to the natural point of observing that. With that, say you are reading a Dhamma book. I will tell it in Pali, but these are in English translations. Just taking a small part. Buddha's Rupam Bhikkhave Nityam Va Nityam Vadi. Is it permanent or impermanent, the body? Now you're seeing your body seated. To answer him, you think after many years, for 40 years your body will not be there. No person ever existed forever. All bodies will disappear. You must get a personal feeling of it. When you are getting this personal feeling, don't try to remember something, just you have to activate that inner natural awareness that this is going to happen. And then you answer the Buddha, Anityam Bhante. Impermanent. And Buddha says, what is impermanent, Anitya? It is happiness or sadness. What is bound to change, my friends? If it were to change, it will bring sadness. More the pleasure, more the sadness. Then you answer Anityam Bhante, Dukkham Bhante. Then if this nature is the Anitya Dukkha, Tampanani dukkam viparinama dhamma kallamgatam samanupasita. What is impermanent suffering? Can you call it myself? This is me. What is going to change and destroy and annihilate? Can you call such a thing yourself? Like last birth, you would have had a body, but what happened to it now? Maybe the bones are still there. Same thing going to happen to this body. So this natural observation of what is going on in your body, this you have to reflect. He tells about Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Without a body you can't have consciousness. The body has this nature, that consciousness also same. It is going to be annihilated. Even every minute is happening. Therefore, when you look like this, evam passanyata bhutam, when you have this with more peaceful awareness, you see this truth. This becomes a vision. Evam passanyata bhutam, libindati. You feel detached, dismissed. Virajati. Detachment comes to your mind naturally. Nirodeti, cessation. Nibbana. This is Nibbana. When you turn away from the entire system of existence. And this particular piece, how nice it is. Etang santang, etang panitam, sabba sankhara santam, padisabu, dhannakadu, ilago, irotu, nibbanati. Sankhara paramadukam, nibbanam paramamus. So you wish this peace for you. All who are in this room, may they get this peacefulness. All people, all the neighbors in this area, like you're going in a helicopter, everybody in Australia, Perth and Sydney and Melbourne, all the states, and New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and then Sri Lanka, the villagers, India, states, may they get this inner peace. Not only Sri Lanka, India, then you have India, China, lot of human beings, and Nepal, Tibet, Russia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, sweeping through all these people, and Middle East, Mediterranean, South America, North America, Africa, Europe, Japan, Taiwan, entire human beings, like you're seen from space, may they be free from suffering. May they come to that inner peace. Not only those beings, all animals, then all the creatures, Pretas, Bhutas, Vetarani, Paduma, Yama, Paduma, Avicchya, all the hell worlds, may they get a human birth and come to Nibbana. And the Devalokas, Chatumaharaja, Dhavatim Sadhusi, Yamani, Matarati, Brahma Purohita. These Devalokas have little lokas also, may it completely disappear. Then Brahma Purohita, Brahma Parsatya, Mahabrahma, Veham Palapasana, Gita Brahma, Nesanya, Nasanya. This verse system, they don't have loka, they don't have klesha, but they have moha, the feeling of I feeling. May that I feeling disappear from the lowest to the highest. You have to picture them like from outside. It's a mental picture and it's real when you think of it. From the highest realms to the lowest worlds, in between, may they come to this peace of mind. Have this thought in your mind. Now I'll be pressing you on, okay? We have not much time, and one thing, try not to talk after these moments. You can talk tomorrow morning. Try to keep this energy in your system. So you can take dinner or something, but try to keep this. If you talk, this is coming from the mountains. The monks who have been practicing with a certain energy. So this is, they don't talk for months and years sometimes. And they develop this taste of meditation. So something I'm trying to give you all. Keep it. It will give you a lot of blessings, clearance from the Kama Loka. And I wish you that you will get the fullest support to go on this path without any obstacle, out of all suffering, to highest peace. Only thing, anyone have any particular problem to stop making you really? You want someone else to especially bless you? You feel, oh my God, this is still there with me. Maybe all of you. Okay. Body ka relax kar. Okay, wait. Just stand and relax the body, right? Relax the body. Just stand up, relax the body. Stand up, relax the කෛලාසික දාන ප්‍රමාණය relax the body. Sadly, all of those beings get this presence. Discrete section. Ayni Bhumi Purapurave Muttanam is something at the beginning recorded. The masters will